Chief guest, Sri Asim Chauhan, Additional President RB and Chancellor Amity University, Dr. Sharma, Dr. Padma Banerjee, Dr. Madhukar, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and dear students whom I would go a little step further and say, a future of tomorrow. It's really a very great honor and a privilege for me to be standing here amongst intellectuals, because my background is somewhat different. So when Dr. Banerjee came and asked me, or requested me to come and be here, I was quite taken aback, because I thought, what do I tell you? And when I looked at the topic, it was organizational growth through innovation and creativity. Not wanting to sound absolutely dumb, I did try to go through the internet and loads of information. Most of it went over my head. But what I could make out very simply was that creativity was basically about generation of ideas, individuals, team, group, public, organizational, and innovation was basically its implementation. This is what I can talk about. But what then I thought, what do I address? Because without having too much knowledge into each part of it, one day I must stand in front of such intellectuals. So then I honed into my core competence, and that was the organization. Innovation, creativity, you could say in a way, are the ingredients of success. The condiments, the spices to go with, whatever the kitchen, the organization. So I thought I'd just share a few words with you and my experiences, because you are going to join an organization. And that organization is where you count, your leadership and everything will count. So my first advice to you is, every organization is a living entity. It's a pulsating organization in which every individual counts, and they must be made to feel so. To give you an example, because I'm not an academician, but I can only correlate to what I have gone through and what I have achieved. I had the fortune to raise one of the units. By now you would be knowing of the Rashtra Rifle unit sometime in '94. And when they were to be raised, nobody wanted to be there, because everything was uncertain, because the heterogeneous mix, and more so, you're going to be confronted with actual operations, live operations, where fatalities could be high. So anybody who came there, well, the first was, I didn't want to be there. But we realized that we had to do it to the task at hand, and therefore when we knit ourselves together, and let me tell you one thing, there's nothing which binds an organization better than success. So therefore, when we started off, little by little, we gained this success. And initially, I can tell you this, as a commanding officer, it was me and my team. Then when we started, that everybody started associating ourselves. Yes, we belong to that business. And we succeeded with God's grace. And I think ours is the only unit in the history of the Indian Army where we raised and we got the distinction of the Chief Citation within 2.5 years, which is a record by itself. The other thing that I would like to share is, whichever organization you're going in, you must ensure that nobody is doing anybody a favor by working there. You and me, we are part of an organization doing our job. And therefore, you must associate yourself and produce your best. There are people whom we had in a thing like, there's a very complex situation which I can tell you. In operations, we have our signalers who are part of communication, we have our drivers who are part of maintenance of vehicles, but there are a number of numerous duties which overlap. At that time, in initial stages, we did have a little bit of resistance, which said, this is not my job. So how do you tackle it? The tackling was, okay, for example, if it was a driver, and he says, it's not my job to give a guard duty, that is fine, so be it. The orders were passed by me that you please utilize this vehicle and he'll be the driver. But God forbid, should the vehicle have a breakdown anywhere, the orders are that every passenger will abandon the vehicle, less the driver, who will stay put till the vehicle is recovered. What does it imply? That he'll be alone. He'll be without support. And he will be vulnerable to any militant action. He could die. It wasn't that he realized, he says, no, I need your support. So we said, yes, so we need your support. And therefore, it's a complementary thing that you keep doing. It's not only strictly your job. You're part of an organization, and that organization must often overlap and try and take each other's responsibilities to help out. The next thing I'd like to tell you is, in all our organizations, is a welfare. We tend to get welfare oriented. In fact, if I may say so, look at our country. Democracy, fine. But is it unfettered democracy? That's what is sometimes keeping us back, sometimes pulling us down. So therefore, when your organizations, when welfare does exist, it also must be mission-oriented. Mission-oriented, you are given a task, you must try and fulfill. Next thing is believe in total transparency. In your organization where everybody is looking, do not be under the misconception that people are not aware what you do. There are too many eyes, too many ears. They know each and every move that each and every one of us make. So don't be mistaken. If they do not speak, it's their maturity. Do not take it for granted.